Okay, class. The lesson for this week 13, right? Week 13 is, yes, myself,
Francis Perkins and the Triangle Factory Fire.
Francis Perkins and the Triangle Factory Fire. From the title of this lesson in literature, who can tell me what is this title about?
History writing. There's a fire in New York City. So people refer to the word. That's what.
There was a fire in what's it in New York City. And what happened next after that?
So the people in there, the fire was closing in the 8th, 9th, and 10th floor. So people they had windows, so they were jumping.
The building had a fire, or the supermarket, what do you think?
Building.
No, the building had a fire. So let's find out. So when we say who, it talks about what, Judd? The subject anymore. We are not talking about the grammar, or the literature. A person. Or it talks about character. Okay, so who? So who are the characters in this story? Ibrahim. Francis Perkins. Who else?
Triangle Search Waste Factory Workers. And
So those are the workers, okay? Please raise your hand if you want to say something. One by one, yes?
so they're not only those characters, there's another boy who saved about 15.
It means that they are the main characters. So they are what we call, what kind of characters?
Main. Subject.
Huh? I said raise your hand. We are not in a chorus.
Main character.
The main characters I know, but what kind of characters? Round! Exactly. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel, why don't you move? Round characters. Now, who's Gio? Do you still remember what is a round character?
The wrong character who is like the one who is not predictable.
I would like you to louder your voice, please. All of you, if I ask you a
The
question.
one who the other people don't know till the end of the story.
No changes to the sound.
When the character surprises every character at the end of the story.
When the character surprise every part of the story, or yes, Ibrahim?
A character that develops.
Very good. The character that develops more on what we call the story. It's either the movie you watch or
The story you read.
the story you read. Okay. When we say when, what is that? Number one?
Time.
The present. Yes? When?
It's a time.
It's a time. So what time? What time it happened?
Past.
Oh my goodness, you have this time. You are almost about to kill my brain. Yes, of course. We all know it's a when. When is the time? So what time? What time? Look at the whiteboard. The answer is there. If there is an anaconda, you know, the anaconda already swallowed you. Huh? No, not on my face. Is it the time March 25 only? The one you saw on the board? Huh? Stop raising your hand. It's a very simple one, you don't understand. Only March 25 you see here, Marwan? Well, tell me. March 25, what time? It takes me here before you answer. Yes, what time? Yes, sir. What time? Travis. Louder your voice.
1991.
If you are making a noise, you are too noisy. I almost about to close my ears. Marwan, I'm afraid of it. Sit down. Marwan, here, oh. Did you see this?
Yes.
What is this now? Yes, even.
March 25,
Tell
1911.
it to me, please.
March 25, 1911.
March 25, 1911. That is it. Do you understand?
And then the
You're late and you have to take a seat and don't talk. You stand up. If we say where, listen to my question before you answer. If we say where, what is that?
New York City.
Yeah,
On
sit down.
Shirtwaist Factory.
Sit down. Yes. Place. I said you have to listen to my question first. It's about a place. So where the case happened? New York City. I thought you were going to say New York. Of course, you have to complete it, Marwan. Marwan, you stand up. Who are the characters? Who are the characters? Because Jim, you have to put your table and chair at the back of your brain, please. Yes? Raise your hand. I'm not in a good mood today. Yes. Characters! Even let's say, even I don't want to show this to you guys, you have to know because you have your little plans ahead of time. Like 2 months I posted it on the system. Yes? Francis what? And if you had difficulty in the pronunciation, the technique that I gave you was what? Slice, chop, syllable, cut the words. Francis Perkins, triangle, waist, factory workers. What about when? What about the time? Huh? Where? You are delaying my time. We only have 45 minutes. Take your seat. Are you studying at home? Sit down, please. You see, next time you have to bring your pillow, blanket, and if you have a mosquito net, you can bring. Sit properly. And don't smile, don't laugh. Are we having laughing lessons here? Okay. Isa, another part of the story. Before the fire happened, what do you think the first thing happened in the story? Louder, your
Speak up.
voice.
Francis Perkins was attending a fancy party.
Good. So she was attending a fancy tea party. Who can explain what is fancy tea party? Yes.
It was a celebration because two men signed the truce, so they were having a party. Tea parties.
Is it an agreement? A treaty
A
of
truce.
agreement?
Agreement.
Sorry?
A truce. Yeah.
I
They
know.
agreed to peace, so
Yeah.
in New York and another state, so they were having a tea party, a celebration. So that because the truce.
You said truce, right?
Truce, yeah.
It is the same with the Treaty of Paris, Treaty of Paris, like the peace, the signing of an agreement between the two countries having peace, right? So Treaty of Paris is an example of an agreement that the countries had to sign in order for them to have peace and order in that places or in their places. Now, so there was a fancy tea party According to Ibrahim, to Al-Saniyah, he said that there were two
Man,
men who are going to sign peace.
they already signed it.
They already, yes, and then?
So they signed the truce, so they were enjoying the peace for once. There was a war that lasted 25 years probably, so they signed the truce and they ended it all.
And yes, Isa, continue.
She rushed out.
Will you please louder your voice?
She rushed out when she saw a baby divided across Washington Square Park.
Excuse me, the two of you disturbed my sense of hearing, and he is being disturbed with a sense of your irresponsibility. Again, Isa.
She rushed out when she saw a raging fire across Washington Square Park.
She rushed out when she saw a raging fire across Washington Square Park. What do you think the reason why she did it? By some guys.
Because she saw a raging fire across Washington.
What is raging?
Like an angry fire.
A
fire.
very big fire.
Active fire.
Did I say that you have to talk? Please let him talk one by one. Maybe they smelled some of the smoke that started to eat the buildings. Yes.
Francis Perkins actually heard screams.
Yes.
Fire was going up 7, 8, 9 floor. So she heard the yelling. She heard yelling, so her and her two friends went outside.
I think Alsamea had read the story in advance. During the fire, excuse me, I am not on the floor, look at me. During the fire, please.
Perkins joined the crowd of onlookers at the Triangle Factory fire.
Onlookers or
On-
onlookers? Again, I have to read for you. Perkins joined the crowd of onlookers at the Triangle Factory fire. To make sense of the word onlookers, what does it mean? Yes,
People that were watching.
exactly. Ganit is using the word connotations. He is creating a meaning coming from his own idea rather than using the word denotation, meaning from the dictionary. And continue.
She witnessed immigrant workers dying at the scene.
Next,
What got in the way of the workers' escape?
let's have after the fire. Yes, Faisal Marcas.
The entire city was deeply saddened by the tragic event.
Explain that.
So, like after the fire, everything was burning up, and they were like shocked to see their houses and buildings broken down. And how did the fire help to shape Francis Perkins' future actions? So she tried to do something in the future that would like stop fires and everything.
The entire city was deeply saddened by the tragic event. How did the fire help to shape Francis Perkins' future actions? Yes.
Well, in the first one, the entire city was deeply sad, but because nobody survived. They all got extra dramatic, so they all jumped from the 8th and 9th floor. They jumped out of the window, they all died. They could have waited for the firefighters to come. So when the firefighters did come, a little boy, 13-year-old, threw people on the thing that they hold. I don't know what it is, but people went through it. It was very light. It couldn't hold all the people. 13 people died because it couldn't hold them. The 13-year-old boy had a kiss and jumped.
Jumped.
Yeah, so they all died. That's why they're tragic. No survivors as well.
I have to read, guys, the background, and you have to do with me. If I called your name, you have to read it loud. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Show me the difference of reading to making a noise. Francis Perkins and the Triangle Factory fire. The genre is history writing. Abdulaziz, you have to listen. It is written by David Brooks. Today, we have the rules and the laws that protect workers and keep workplaces safer. But that wasn't always the case. This text tells about a deadly fire that happened at a factory in New York City, the year 1911. Please help me, Ferris, loud in your voice.
Summary. The author explains that today the area around Washington Square Park in Manhattan, New York, has nice apartments, fancy stores, and the university. But in 1911, Washington Square Park was different. At the time there were factories that Jewish and Italian immigrants worked. There were nice, simple homes in Washington Square Park. One of the homes was owned by Mrs. Gordon Norrie. She was a well-known person in New York City society. On March 25, 1911,
Stop. Thank you. Ibrahim, your turn, please.
Noreen's other friends were at her home. Francis Perkins was one of those fellows. Perkins had her oh, Perkins was 31 from a middle-class family. She was working to stop businesses from hiring children to work or child labor. Suddenly, Mrs. Morse's butler ran into the room and interrupted Noreen and her guests. She said there was a fire outside.
Let me call on Miss Jill.
Everyone ran outside. Francis Perkins ran towards the fire. Triangle Shirtwaist Factory is burning. As the author explains, the fire became one of the most infamous fires in American history. From the street, flames could be seen on the 8th, 9th, and 10th floors. Scared workers inside the factory looked out the windows. Francis Perkins and other scared people on the sidewalk looked up at them.
I think Outbreak should have to read this and explain this to me later. We have the targeted passages, and this passage will help you to explain yours. Your turn, please. You are the only outbreak here.
Some saw what they thought.
Louder your voice, as I've said many times.
Some saw what they thought was running from the factory falling from the windows. They thought the factory owners would continue their best material. As the bundles continued to fall, the onlookers realized they were not bundles at all. They were people, hurling themselves to their death. People had just begun to jump at the gathering. Perkins would later remember they had been holding on since that time, standing in the window sills, being crowded by others behind them. The fire pushed closer and closer, the smoke closer and closer.
Next. Next. Focus on Ibrahim. He loves Ibrahim rather than me. Ready? Begin.
The author quotes Frances Perkins as she later recalled how people jumped out of the window. The firemen held nets, but the fallen bodies were too heavy and broke through. Perkins and other people on the street screamed at the workers not to jump. They told the workers that help was coming, but help wasn't coming. 47 people died because they jumped out of the windows. The author then describes some of the horrible things that happened during the fire. For example, one young man gently helped several women jump out the window to their death before he jumped himself. The fire started after someone threw a cigarette or a match into a pile of material inside the factory. The manager in the factory tried to put water on the fire, but it didn't help. The fire spread. Workers inside the factory got a fire.
Stop. Your turn.
But it wasn't working. One expert then said that instead of trying to fight the fire, the workers should have gotten out. If they had spent less time fighting the fire and tried to escape instead, many more lives might have been saved. As the fire spread, the owners of the factory, who were on the 10th floor, learned what was going on. One owner took people up to the roof. The other owner was too scared to move. He had his daughters with him. Someone helped them through.
Stop. People were on the floors.
Learned that was going on. One owner took people up to the roof. The other owner was too scared to move. he had his defense. Someone helped him. People were on the floor too. The people on the higher floor mostly
Eight.
got out. Eight,
Eighth floor, not highest, eighth floor.
eight floor mostly got out. But the one
Stop, thank you. Yes,
But the workers on the ninth floor did
Ah, I'm sorry. I forgot to say thank you yesterday for what you did for helping me. You know the movie you said, Mr. Gleason, you control them with the help of other people. As a man. So I have to give you a good value, a plus for your being. Continue, please. Sorry for that.
Frank did not find out about the fight until they saw it. By then it was almost too late. There were many problems as people tried to escape. The waiting work show and full. There were no sprinkles inside. The
Stop.
stairs.
Thank you. Marwan.
Fire escape ladder was old and locked. There was only one way for the workers to get out, and some other doors were locked. The author tells about the inspiring things people did trying to save themselves. For example, people showed each other. One man showed many women aside to get into an elevator and save himself.
Yes, sir. Continue. Can you continue, please? Help me.
Unfortunately, when firefighters arrived, the ladders could not reach the eighth floor. Water from the hoses could only sprinkle the outside of the building. By the time it got to the eighth floor, shade is the next section of the text. The triangle fires made people in the city very upset. People were very angry with the owners of the factory. Some people felt responsible themselves. Rose Schneiderman was a young Russian immigrant in 1909, 2 years before the Triangle Fire. Schneiderman led a strike of protest. The women in the strike had worked at Triangle and other factories. They had protested against the same problems that led to the disaster at the Triangle factory. Company guards gave the protesters a hard time. The author said, gave the protesters.
Stop. Ibrahim.
Says that the city didn't involve not caring about complaints because the factory workers were poor. Yet after the triangle fire, many people around the city were very angry. They felt guilt about not caring more about the lives of poor people. Francis Perkins recalled how upset and sorry they felt. After the fire, there were a large memorial march and
Miss
meetings.
Jill.
Perkins was on the stage when
Say your mind.
She spoke about how poor people had tried to get other New but they had gone the other way.
Faisal, my class. Go. Start.
The fire and its aftershocks left a deep mark on Frances Perkins. Up until that point, she had lobbied for workers' rights and on behalf of the board, but she had been on a conventional tragedy toward a conventional marriage, perhaps, and a life of gentle, good workers. After the fire, what had been a career turned into a vocation. Moral indignation set her on different course. Her own desires and her own ego became less central, and the cause itself became more central to the story of her life.
Thank you. Who understands the story? Raise your hand to those who understand the story. Before I ask a question, I would like you to please. I observe that some of you say the. Say this, please. The apple.
The apple.
The apple, not the. Don't say the apple. Don't say the apple. Huh? No, it's not. The followed by a vowels. The followed by a vowel, which would be the. So the apple. But if you see that the followed by a consonants remaining for the five vowels, say the building. Marwan. Okay? Thank you. Alas lang, ha? You sit, please, again, second time around, sit properly. I'll break who are the main characters.
Transfer.
I said, again,
Transfer.
and who can help him? Yes.
The workers, the triangle.
Factory workers. Okay. Put in your mind the two main characters are Francis Perkins and the factory workers.
Oh, and also
What? Sit down. We only have two main characters. Again,
Factory workers and Mr.
I said louder your voice, maintenance, please.
The factory workers and Mrs. Parker. Mr.
The factory workers and Francis Perkins. What about the sub-characters?
Nori,
Sorry?
Nori and her friends.
Louder your voice.
Nori and her friends.
Nori and her friends.
And the 15-year-old boy.
The 13-year-old boy. Remember the sub-characters? We have Nori and her friends.
Schneider.
The 13-year-old boy.
Schneider.
That's one by one. The owner.
Schneider.
Schneider.
Firefighter.
Huh?
Firefighter.
The firefighter, of course, included there. Okay, those are the characters, huh?
The daughter of the owner.
Okay, good. If the question goes, give me the main characters, you only have to give the main characters, don't give all. And the sub-characters, you have to give all the sub-characters. Okay. Let's talk about the setting. Okay, yes, indeed. Settings, please help me.
New York City, March 25, 1911.
What else? Any?
Washington.
Washington?
Near the Washington Square Park.
Okay, what else?
Boston, yeah.
Manhattan.
Huh? Factory. The building factory. What else?
Montoya.
Monterey, very good.
New York City, Manhattan.
Okay. If the question again talks about the main setting, you have to give New York City, March 25, 19. Exactly, that's it. But if the question goes like, give all the settings, yes,
What about the 440 that afternoon?
I'm saying now, I said, give the main settings if that is the question, and give all the settings if the person is asking about all the settings. Do not bite your fingers, badil bukra and tamafi fingers. You have to concentrate and look at me. Sa? I told a while ago and then he asked me what about this one. That's redundancy and I don't like repetitions of questions, repetitions of answers, repetitions of words and everything here. Because I believe that all of them are smart. Okay. Ready? Who do you think the wrong characters?
The main characters. The characters that develop over the story.
What does she develop in the story? And why did you say the main characters, Frances Perkins? What did she do in the story?
She tried changing the city
How did she change the city?
by working so that we could enjoy labor and poverty.
And what attention did she give to all of us that we consider her as the wrong character?
Because she did not change her personality throughout the whole story.
Did she, what?
She did not change her personality throughout the whole story.
If you say she did not change her personality throughout the story, it means she's a flat character.
No, because of the vocation, your life's work.
Where?
The vocation.
Faisal, if I did not call your name, please. You know why? You are not helping others to understand. You are disturbing others to be confused. I am to answer Naya. Yes, answer Naya?
She did not change. She was scared throughout the whole story.
If she did not change and being scared throughout the story, she is the wrong character. Yes, Faisal.
A vocation.
Huh?
vocation. She's like
What's vocation?
a life's work.
Explain, please.
Like what she does the most. Like for example, a governor, she or he takes care of the country or city.
She acted, she had a lot of movement and improvement in what we call story, right? Hmm. What about the flat character? Who you consider the flat character?
Uh,
The 13-year-old boy?
Firefighters.
Sorry?
Firefighters.
The firefighters, because the firefighters only just went there, to
help.
Help. That's
Help.
turn down or,
the fire.
or,
The
or
fire.
shut down the fire. That's it. That's the only job, right? Yes, Faisal, what do you want to add?
Like they were only mentioned once in the story. not
That's
several.
exactly what we call the flat characters. Okay? If we say indirect and direct characters, what passage, what part, what paragraphs, okay, in that story that shows indirect character of Francis Perkins? You have your weekly plans in advance that I posted 2 months ago in the system. What I have to do is just to check it out. See? Raise your hand if you can answer the differences between the indirect and direct characters here.
Direct was going to give you the point immediately without any like for he did that. No, they give you the point immediately.
That's direct character. Good. The author, the writer wrote direct if he or she mentioned what personality, what character you have. But when you say indirect,
Took a long time
it took a lot of time for us, the viewer, the listener,
to understand.
the readers, to understand what kind of characters do you possess in the story.
The direct character is Schneider. They immediately told him, protest.
Now you have to find out in what paragraph that the author wrote a description about the indirect and direct characters of the two main characters of the Lasis. Find it up now.
19 is that. So sentence 19.
Read it for me, please.
A large memorial.
Louder your voice.
A large memorial march was held, and then a large meeting with all the leading citizens of the city. Perkins was on stage as a representative of the consumers.
Excuse me? Sad to say, but it's not. I want to be honest. Yes?
In one of the then 31 was governed of Meritard. So it took a long time to explain who she was. Because one of her guests, Francis Perkins, then 31, was from an old middle class main family. And that's it.
Yes. On paragraph 2, when I read it yesterday night, I couldn't imagine who she was. What was her action in the story? They are just giving her a long description. So that is indirect. Now, Rochelle, I would like you to find out that on paragraph 2, as Alsanaya said, they described her into a long term that you couldn't find who she was. Now, in the direct, what paragraph there that you found, she was like this. Ganib also, Ibrahim, please, I'll pray. Not because I said Ganib, Ibrahim, and Alaslan, and you don't have any job, a part of this class. Find out. Help yourself to maintain a perfect score in the participation class.
I know it, but I don't know which paragraph. I know the phrase itself.
Give them a chance into 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Yes! Because he read, that's why you knew it.
Schneider, an immigrant from Russia,
Very good.
protested. I don't know which paragraph.
Francis Perkins described a okay, being described by the listener, by the reader as a protesters. That's it. Do you agree with that? Yes, of course. I agree with you because I read it anyway. You are disagreeing because you did not even turn on to different pages of that lessons, right?
Can you say witness also?
Sorry?
Can you also say a witness to the fire?
No. That is another part of the story. What should be the internal and external conflict of that story? Internal and external conflict.
The external conflict was the fire that happened outside. Internal conflict was fear and horror.
Ibrahim +1. I assure you I have to give you +5 in all. I have to whisper. Yes. I'm not joking, guys. He's the only one who is very expressive in telling exactly. On the second period, you will suffer if you don't read it. Her feelings when the tragedy had come. That is internal. External, when the fire came, other peoples were worrying, including the two main characters. Exactly, even the firefighters were worried because, if there's some instances like that, they believe that there will be a person who will suffer a lot of diseases. Yes?
There will be, if continues happening, firefighters, they had fear when it happened. They had a lot of stress on their mind, what they went through, what if I couldn't catch them. And so, if they did not succeed in their work, it would be a vocation. They have to always go to fire, and this suffocation for people and citizens.
What do you think in the seven or in the sorry, not seven, huh? I would rather change the word. Guys, I had to add some. In the 10 types of conflicts, what types of conflict do you think the story Franz and Perkins?
Teacher, manners nature.
You are being selfish. I don't understand what you said.
Manners is nature.
Very good. It's a man versus nature, or it's a character versus nature. Who?
Internal, external conflict. Man versus man conflict is people up there and
We're fighting each
and,
other
and no, they were
to save their own lives.
no, they were not. They were trying to help each other. They were trying to help each other, but it was also
It's a man to man, right?
yeah, because the men up there, the people up there, and the people downstairs, the people down, the fighter, who were trying to help. So it's men with them.
Actually, the answer of Coach Jill is 100% correct because he made a total viewing of the classifications of the 7 or 10 types of the conflicts. But when you go to paragraph by paragraph, you will make sense of your own conflicts. Is it time ready?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.